Frequency is a first-person horror puzzle game set in 1987, and you take the role of a late-night radio talk show host called Forrest, who was once considered big-time in Chicago, but for some reason has now ended up in a small town called Gallows Creek. Now, originally I wasn't going to review this, I was just going to check it out for my own curiosity, but the developers are Team 17. They're the creators of Worms and an old-school Amiga shooter called Project X, amongst many others I imagine. They are old-school heroes of mine, and while I only intended to maybe make a first impressions video, I ended up playing it to completion, and I don't think I've played anything like this before. The main gameplay element is helping callers into the radio station. One phone call may be helping someone not get killed by a murderer, or saving a group of people's lives by organising an escape method. Or for example, it could just be saving someone's life. You help them by choosing multiple choice answers and solving puzzles using clues and items found around the large and pretty creepy radio station. The DJ part is an add-on. It's a reason to be there, but it also provides you with some entertainment. You can switch records, adjust volumes, play tapes, play sponsored ads. You even have a sampler to add some pizzazz to your broadcast.
This next one goes out to all the trap kids out there. You'll like this next song. Peggy.
Throughout the game, you're joined by co-host Peggy, who you never quite see in detail. She sits in the booth opposite you and refuses to come out due to a killer known as the Whistler being around the town. The game in flat terms is actually pretty popular. I've seen a lot of people covering it on YouTube, but I haven't seen anyone making noise about the VR version. So, Killer Frequency is a heavily narrative-driven experience that I would normally shy away from. But the Stranger Things setting of the station, the way the music creates a mood of you're in a teen 80s nightmare movie, that you're here to help these people, stop this killer and save people's lives. It really kept me interested. There are definitely moments while playing I was reminded this game wasn't necessarily meant for VR or myself. You can sometimes feel like you're not really doing much, especially in the first 30 minutes, but after that you'll be walking around the station trying to figure out what's going on and piece this nightmare together. Don't go into this expecting any action. The only thing you'll be doing is picking things up and putting them in places. It's also a little clunky in VR. The lack of smooth turning for me was a real pain, but as I said earlier, I found myself constantly compelled to play out the story. If you're not the sort of person to fall into the role of the character you're playing in the game, I feel this may be lost on you.
Do you know why the Whistling Man might have targeted you?
Ha! As far as I could tell, he was just a knife-wielding psycho.
We think he might be chasing specific people. People who know about the death of a boy named George.
You need to care about the other characters and pay attention, which makes the long narrative parts pretty tough. It's one thing to sit at a PC or on your couch playing a game like this, but to be wearing a VR headset means engagement normally needs to be pretty high and important. And sometimes I found myself hoping certain parts would move along a lot quicker than they were. The game suggests your character takes breaks while playing a record, and I found myself physically doing this and it helped a lot. The complete gameplay time is 4 to 5 hours, but to be honest, I don't think you're going to solve every murder and you're going to make a lot of mistakes along the way, which means if you like this sort of game, replayability. There are only a couple of jump scares to my memory, but that doesn't mean you won't be scared at a few other points during the game. Overall, I enjoyed my time with this, but I don't necessarily feel it has to be played in VR to be enjoyed. In fact, you might enjoy it more simply just playing it on your PlayStation 5 or with your PC. Now don't get me wrong, VR does add a lot of immersion. You do feel you are in that radio station looking for that stuff, and when you go down in the basement where it's meant to be super scary, I can't imagine it being much more scarier than it is inside VR. But there are definitely times where you'll feel the weight of the headset because all you're doing is sitting and listening and not doing much else. Overall, I'd give this game a 7 out of 10, which I know is pretty high, but I did have a really good time with it, and personally I've never played anything like this. If you check it out, remember to let me know down in the comments below what you think of it, leave a like on the video, subscribe for more VR content, and I'll see you on the next one.
Peggy?
You're gonna want to take this call off the air.
Who is it?
Just do it!
Alright folks, it's time for another track. Here's one to help you sit back and relax. We'll be right back after this.